Rainbolt founded Bank First and currently serves as Chairman Emeritus of the Bank First Corporation. He's also served as chair of the Gene Rainbolt College of Education Live On University campaign, where we've just successfully completed a fundraising campaign of $10 million. He holds a BBA in economics and an MBA in finance from the University of Oklahoma. In 2008, the Regents approved naming of the College of Education in honor of Gene Rainbolt, making this college the first on our campus in the history of this campus to be named for a woman. Just a small sampling of his civic commitments include the Oklahoma Medical Research Foundation, the Oklahoma School for Science and Mathematics, the State Chamber of Commerce, and the Charles and Peggy Stevens Oklahoma Cancer Center Leadership Council. Mr. Rainbolt has also served our country with distinction in the Korean War, receiving the Bronze Star and the Bronze Star Medal and the Army Commendation Medal from the United States Army. Would you please help me welcome the Award of Distinction winner, Mr. Gene Rainbolt.
Well, all I can say is Janine, who was a teacher, would shake her head tonight and say, "Why are they honoring you?" Those of you who knew her, she's very irreverent and very correctly so. But who we should really be honoring tonight is Dean Garn, because there's not another educational dean in the United States that is his equal. And the second person you have honored a bit, but we should honor more, is Bill Anatubby, governor of the Chickasaw Tribe, because he's got all the money. And as I was visiting with Governor Anatubby earlier in the evening, looking at this group, seeing people who've dedicated their lives to creating more for others, seeing some of you with children, realizing those children will also pay part of the price you're paying, it was difficult not to have tears in my eyes because you're giving so much for so many. And as I think about Oklahoma, I can give you some insight into the business community, and I'm less involved. I was actually graduating from the university the year Paul Massad was born, if you can imagine that, which is quite a while ago. But the general thought process is real disgust what's happening in the legislature, real disgust with the fact they're not dealing with the issues. And I think the direction that will be taken politically is very similar to what Dean Garn suggested, and that is moving to give the local communities the ability to make their own decisions, because we believe that most of Oklahoma would gladly finance education and infrastructure development at a much higher pace than the legislature can or will do. I also enjoy describing Oklahoma economic policy as how to starve yourself into prosperity. Somehow it just doesn't seem consistent. And if you were president of a corporation instead of a state, and you could make an investment that would provide you with infinite return, which in the case of teachers and teaching children and the multiple generations that follow, what would you do? You would invest all the money you possibly could. And I like to describe the capitalistic system and the entrepreneurial activity is without question the most productive in the world, the most productive economic society we've known. But the Darwinian nature of capitalism, where fewer and fewer have more and more, makes it very imperative to those of us who have to create an economic circumstance, an educational circumstance, where every child has the opportunity to learn, and we have at least an opportunity to participate in the American dream. And I looked at the Oklahoma gross state product, and if we were just at the national average, and these are 2015 figures, of gross state product, we would have $30 billion more gross state product in Oklahoma. And if we were equal to Connecticut, and they're not number one in gross state product, though they are in per capita income, we would have $90 billion, or 50% more gross state product, if we educate our children, if we prepare for the future, if we invest in what makes a difference, we can be one of those states. So until that moment in time where we create an Oklahoma where every child can do all he or she can be, we will not have a successful state. And my final point is I have a friend on the legislative compensation committee, and I suggested to him that what he should do is introduce a resolution. They reduce the legislator's pay to $500 a month. And with that, good night.